Kathy Murray and Bill Jones from Kathy and the Kilowatts here in Austin, Texas. And Kathy and Bill, you've been on the road. You've been performing for 4 decades. Do you have a worst gig story?
Got one, Bill?
Yeah, I'll tell mine. It was here in Austin. There's a place called the Bottom Line. The night started off great. We were playing, and
it was run by the great Seaboy Parks that Seaboys is named after, and he was always so good for us.
That's right. Yeah, there's a cool on the east side, on East 12th Street. The good part of the night was Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top walked in, and with Jimmy Vaughn, and Billy Gibbons at our break gave me some real nice pointers. But what made it the worst gig was at the end of the night. I couldn't leave until I paid the bass player's bar tab. So I made no money, and I had to pay the bass player's bar tab, so it was like a negative type situation. So I'm sure there's a lot of musicians out there that can identify where they go out to play a show and they make a minus amount of money. So that was kind of the worst gig for me.
But it was also good that Jimmy and Billy came out and saw you, though.
That's true, that's true.
Good and bad.
Okay, Kathy. It's
How about
your
you?
turn.
I'm trying to think of one that I can actually tell to the public. Okay. There used to be this club, and I can't remember the name
The Fish Market.
of it. No, not that one. I'm not telling that one. It was over there on Congress and 4th. This old building. It was very low down.
Next to the bus station?
Yeah. And one night I was playing a gig there, and I had the great Billy Miller, who's based in Victoria now, on guitar, and Joel Foy, good friend of mine, who's based in Dallas now on second guitar. And, we were playing this intense blues gig, and then in between songs, this guy that, you could feel crazy in his eyes. And he came up to the stage, and he had a paper bag. And it really freaked me out because when I was young, somebody tried to abduct me by pulling a gun out of a paper bag and pointing it right at me. But I ran away and got away. So it's like, it was kind of a flashback of that, oh, he's got a paper bag. and he pulled out a skirt out of this paper bag, and he said, hey, baby, I want you to wear this for the next song. And I said, I think you're misunderstanding what's going on here. And then he reared back like he was going to hit me. And Joel and Billy were on him, immediately, and escorted the guy out. And I was pretty shook up by that. But thinking of all the different places I've played, great clubs, and also really low down holes in the walls, I've been pretty fortunate that those types of occurrences have been very rare. Now I'm thinking, looking at him, they've probably been a whole lot more rare this last 30 years since I've had this big guy with me. Isn't that funny how you don't really think about something like that? But yeah, Bill, that's true. Hey, all right.
I'm glad I can be your bodyguard there.
Yeah, it can be tough being a single woman in the music business.
That's right.
Okay. How do you want to be remembered, Kathy?
That's a very poignant question, because as we all have, I've had a lot of loss in my life, and I lost my parents, when I was pretty young, but I never had a loss. Like Thanksgiving before last, a young woman, Crystal Singletary, had been like Bill and my daughter. And I had been matched up with her in Big Brothers Big Sisters when she was 9. So she was 29, and she was coming to our house for Thanksgiving, as she always did, and she didn't show up. And I knew something horrible had happened for Crystal not to show up for Thanksgiving. And she was killed in a car wreck, driving to Houston to pick up her sister and her nephews to bring them back to us for Thanksgiving. The loss of a child is just stunning. I had no idea. My heart goes out to anyone that's lost a child. The joy of life was just sucked away for a good period of time. And so I think about how Crystal is remembered. She had a very, very, very hard upbringing. She was awarded the state when we got matched with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And yet she grew up to be such a light and a ray of sunshine and a positive, good person. And so I know how she's remembered. With just, you know, instead of crying now when I think of her, after about a year, now I feel just a warm feeling. I smile when I think of her. So how would people think of me? One of the most important things that I'd want to be remembered for is that I love children, and I want to champion their rights. Besides volunteering with Big Brothers Big Sisters, I volunteered with a great program that's in Austin only right now, but it's needed many places. It's the Seedlings Promise Foundation, and they match up kids that have a parent in prison, and you mentor them in school. And so my time spent with that, I would hope, would be something important that I've done with my life. And then, of course, you know, I know we're talking about music, and I would want to be remembered as a great songwriter. Tony Price, great singer, recorded my song Bird in the Hand, and so did Spencer Thomas, great blues singer that's now with the Imperial Starlighters, one of our favorite new bands, Larry Lang's new band. And I would like to see my songs, you know, covered by more artists or known by me, you know, my versions, and have those songs remembered, and to be remembered as a strong woman and as a good role model for people and for women in particular.
Wonderful. Bill?
Well, you've influenced me, that's for sure. You have to be a better person. So I would like to be remembered as a kind person, as somebody who was excited about life, because there's like a diamond, there's many facets I feel like that I'm interested in, as art and music, and we try to live our lives as artists, and with color and music and all kinds of cool stuff going on, and keeping that going. And someone asked me one time, what would you like to do? What's the reason why we're here? And I was kind of thought about that and thought, I guess the reason why we're here is to make it better for the next person. So I'm hoping in some ways I can be remembered as making a little bit better for the next person, either through maybe a musical interlude that somebody got like, hey, that's awesome, you know, the way I was influenced, or by some of our art pieces, or just by, we try to be welcoming to other artists to bring them up too, and encourage them. So I think that's important too. It's kind of like when you throw a pebble in the water and all the waves come out, and it's how our influences are in the universe. So I hope it's a good wave.
Thank you. Thank you. This is Tipjar Magazine in Austin, Texas. We'll be back soon.